So I think it's incredibly difficult to bring together, say, the three kind of archetypes, right? An investor, a quant, and a technologist, and get them to all speak the same language, kind of going back to the Rosetta Stone idea. And so you end up in a situation where it almost organically leads to more bureaucratic complexity because you need a manager that can sit above them, that can kind of translate and make sure things aren't going off the rails, and kind of have a holistic, higher level viewpoint. And that's how you end up with large, kind of weakly linked structures of organization. So that is one version of a cross-functional team, right? Another version of a cross-functional team is having a collection of people with maybe different deep domain expertise, but the ability to speak all of those languages so they can readily find the links between and find and build the links between their domain of expertise and the person next to them. And so I think that those are kind of the two different routes that an organization can take, right? And I think that as we see further development in the technological and quantitative skill of investors, it would make sense to me that that would be maybe more of the direction that we end up going. And certainly, I think that there is a lot of like incremental value to be found in those kind of like points of intersection. And that's what was attractive to me about learning about the equity space, trying to get some exposure to the macro space, is really starting to, gain some understanding. Look, I'm never going to be the best, financial modeler for Apple or Tesla or something, but I don't necessarily have to compete at somebody else's game. And that's kind of the idea. If we extrapolate that away from my interests and career into kind of organizations and how the industry develops, right? It's fairly easy to imagine a world where, people are very deep in one thing, but also have this kind of broader expertise too. There's some, like the pie form of expertise or whatever, where you have one or two things where you're very deep, but also quite broad. And that broadness really allows for the ability to establish the links, right? Because at the end of the day, those links are where I think that you can find marginal edge as someone new coming into the space or a new organization coming into the space, because it's going to be very hard to beat the incumbent HFTs. It's going to be very, very hard to beat the incumbent multi-managers. They have a moat, they have the budget, they have the head start. I mean, it's incredibly difficult because there's huge economic incentive to be successful. And so to me, it's really this question of, okay, hit them where they ain't. And there's no guarantee that that's a successful model, right? But at least that is something where maybe you're optimizing for the potential to capitalize on shifts in the industry.
Hedgeoneer.